I didn't take the elevator.
Yeah.
I didn't take the elevator. I didn't jump up and I took the stairs. We walking the stairs. I mean, this journey it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Been discouraged. I've had job offers. I've went and said, hey, talk to my wife, let's make a family choice. I put in 10 years.
Yeah.
Make a choice. As I told you, life's about choices. Do I leave this? Yeah. Do I go here? My passion is here. I want to run for this, and it's just like, you go, you get the certifications, you get the degrees, you put them in your back pocket.
Yeah.
You don't need them right now.
Yeah.
But when you need them, you need this. Kind of like, you talking about this right here? Yeah. I got that.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by the Conscious Combo Network and the Black Boy Fly Club. Go to www.blackboyfly.club to learn about the movement, get books, merch, and just get connected with the brand overall. Again, www.blackboyfly.club. I hope you enjoy the next episode. What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Black Boy Fly podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Isaac Addae. I just have to say thank you for everybody that's tuned in. We're on another episode. We're still having fun. We're creating this content, again, to empower our community, share stories about Black men and what they're doing in the world and how we can empower our brothers. So I have with me today Joseph P.D., Nashvilleian, father, husband, deputy circuit court clerk officer in the city of Nashville. He's going to be here with me today talking about his journey and his story. Let's get into this conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Good day. Thanks for having me.
It's daytime.
It's daytime.
So if you don't mind, just give us a little bit of background about who you are. Who is Joseph P.D.?
Alrighty. Joseph P.D. I'm a Nashville native, born and raised in Bordeaux. Grew up in that area. Attended Whites Creek High School. Once a Cobra, always a Cobra for all my Nashvilleians, But then my journey took me to Tennessee State University.
TSU.
Yes, Big Blue all the way. And I continued my education at Cumberland University, Master of Science in Public Service Management, University of Tennessee, Certified Public Administrators. But, I'm a father, as you said.
Yeah.
Been married to be 20 years this year.
Man, that's a blessing.
Yes, my wife and I started TSU together.
Okay.
Got married right after college and built this family and continued there and just, continued to journey there into my current role. From Nashville, I attend Richland Creek Church of Christ. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
And just a
D9
family man. That's
D9.
That's right. Just a family man, and a public servant. And my journey to who I am now started when I was a freshman at Tennessee State University.
Gotcha. TSU is near and dear to my heart. And if your experience was anything like mine, it was transformational, right? Just being on the yard and obviously meeting beautiful women like your wife, you learning about who you are and your career and things like that. So, one of the things that we talked about as it relates to this whole idea of Black Boy Fly is us understanding who we are and understanding our purpose. Do you think that TSU played a role in helping you discover who Joseph is and what your power is and who you are, what you're intended to be in this world?
I believe so. I believe everything that we experience in life, we may not understand it at the time, but those things are seeds planted, kind of like a record or a CD recording, just the makeup of who we are. But, going to Tennessee State and, living in Watson, on a sixth floor penthouse,
Oh man, I was on the first floor, but I get it.
Hey, sixth floor, that's where they had all the engineering major. That's where I started out engineering major, but we called it the penthouse.
Yeah.
So,
penthouse.
just meeting people, from all different parts of the country and, just that heritage of TSU. Growing up as a child, I lived in Bordeaux. And
That's true. So you're right around
right
the corner.
across the river, you would hear, TSU.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear them playing. I was like, the band, they're practicing because you can hear it.
Wow. Across the river.
Across the river. I can sit on my porch and hear it across the Cumberland River.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Are you a first generation alum or other folks in your family at TSU?
So other folks in my family, but it's the different sides of my family.
Gotcha.
On this side of my family, I'm the first person to graduate college on that side. But my aunt, on my father's side, my mother's father's side. I mean, you know how you know, everyone, you have a different aspect of all different sides of your family. And, you know, just doing your research there, but you know, they're alums on that side.
It was in your blood.
Yeah. Yes.
You weren't a stranger to it. That HBCU experience is powerful. For me, it helped me figure out who I was, because I came to TSU coming from a bicultural background. And so I had been around black folks, but I was in an African household. So when I arrived at TSU, like you said, man, there's so many different types of black people from all around the country. And I didn't realize that we were so diverse as a people. Meeting the Atlanta guys and the Memphis guys and the Detroit guys. I'm like, what is going on? These are whole different worlds, man. So it was a great experience. So tell me a little bit about what you discovered about yourself at TSU, and how has that shaped your walk through life in terms of what you're doing today?
So, you know, just the journey to TSU, like I said, I'm from here. So for me to, I got a scholarship, and I said, I'm going to go here, do this, and stayed on campus.
Yeah.
And just that experience, you know, you always say, well, you should go away. And people's like, well, you can go here. I had offers to play football, different places, but I chose to get the academic scholarship and stayed on campus. And it's ironic that, you know, I was great in math and science. Awesome. And, you know, you go to classes and meet the professors and do all this, like, well, I'm good at chemistry. You know, I got class this morning, mama's family on, I'm going to stay in the dorm and do this. And so it's ironic, man, I end up losing my scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I knew, I was like, I can't get a C in this class. And, you know, calculus and, you know, chemistry. And I was like, let me call back home. Yeah. You know, I was like, hey, call my grandmother. I was like, I'm moving back home. I was like, huh? My room's still there? Yeah, your room is still there. But just that aspect, you know, meeting, like you said, meeting all the different people. And when you talk about your purpose and, you know, what you're doing. And like I said, you never know where life takes you, because I was an engineer major, good at math and science. But as I'm going through this curriculum and things, it's like I'm tech driven. Sure. And so I was like, man, I want to do electrical engineering. Yeah. Maybe, you know, design these systems for cars and, you know, just all that type of technology. That was one of the things that I had a knack for. But as I got to taking classes and finding out what this field is about, it's like, I don't know if this is really what I want to do. You know, I don't want to be bald at 40. I'm over 40 now. I'm going a little light, but, you know, it's just, you know, learning that about myself and, you know, like I said, meeting the people. And I was actually in a relationship all through college. Awesome. And so that was a different aspect of it. But I think it kind of just put in me to that what I represent and what I want to accomplish, because so many things are presented to us that we could take different directions. And I could have easily been, you know, over here as a drug dealer or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But I lost my father, you know, at a young age. So I wanted to be that example. And, you know, we'll talk about that. But just for my kid, you know, so my dad died when he was 34. Wow. You know, and I was 10 years old. And so, but then there you go with the influence that, you know, my grandfather on this side and this side. So, you know, I had kind of a role models that people take me and say, hey, I'm here for you. Yeah. But it's one of those things. Yeah, stood in the gap and kind of filled that gap and just have those positive influences. Yeah. But it came to the point that I wanted better for myself and for my family. And that's one of the things that kind of just strengthens me and pushes me to continue. Yeah.
I'm glad you talked a little bit about some of the things that you struggle with, because to me, whenever we have conversations about our lives, we talk about it in terms of what we've accomplished, and we don't often talk about what we battle with. And I think that really helps young people when they can see a person like yourself who lost their father at 10, who lost their scholarship at college, yet has still achieved in their life and in their career. So thank you for being vulnerable to share that. I know those had to be difficult things, but you know, that college experience, I tell a lot of young people, is fundamental, because you go there, you make mistakes, you learn about the things that you don't want to do. Changing your major from engineering to something else might have been the best thing you could have ever done, because you had the courage to do it and you learned something about yourself in that process. And I really believe that's what makes college so valuable. You're in this environment and you get this opportunity to really learn who you are, what you like, what you're interested in, and that allows you to develop as a person going forward.
Yeah, and then that you say that life is all about choices. Yeah. And we make them every day. That's true. We don't take, you know, what you was going to wear this morning, what route you took. All these things got us. And then making that change and that choice to, why are you doing? What are you doing? You shouldn't be changing your major. You got 2 years in, and you make that choice and you look at it, and these things affect us every day. And that choice, like you said, you never know. You make these decisions that can have a lifelong effect, and, some positive, some negative. But I think this choice that I did made has, put me on this path that I am right now.
I think it's awesome that you allow yourself to go through that. We put a lot of pressure on young people, and we tell them things like changing your major is a bad idea. Actually, no, it's a great idea. When I was teaching at TSU, I was teaching graduating seniors primarily. And in that class, I would ask the students, what's next? And some of them would say, I don't know. And they would kind of put their head down. And I would say, no, pick your head up. The fact that you don't know is good. And they would look at me like I was crazy. But I would tell them, you don't know, but you're still young. So you're in a space of being able to figure it out. I'd actually be worried if you were laser focused, because you might be going down the wrong path. I was laser focused on engineering, but man, a year into my engineering career, I realized this is not what I want to do. You know what I mean? And I think had I had the courage on campus to maybe explore more of myself, because I was interested in business. Maybe I should have minored in business. Maybe I should have majored in business. But I was locked in, and I don't think I had people around me who encouraged me to really explore the depths of what I was interested in.
And that's kind of like me, great in math and science. And it's like, I had the knack, like I told you, for technology, and doing that, pushed me there. But a lot of times when you come, it's like you don't know what you want to do.
Right.
You're going to college, and they tell you what careers make money.
Yep.
You're going to be an engineer. You're going to be this or a doctor. Where do you want to be? You have the skill set and the knack for it, but it's like you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I kind of tell my kids that all the time, that hey, just you want to find something that you enjoy doing, that you don't. It's not work for you.
Sure.
Because you get burnt out, but if it's a passion that you have, it's what you enjoy doing. It's, that time's more beneficial for everyone involved.
So you mentioned work, and you finding something that you enjoy doing. You've been in your career opportunity for many years, and now you're campaigning for the next level in your career position. So tell me about that. How did you get on this career path, and what do you gain from being in this career path?
Okay, so as I told you, my journey to now started when I was a freshman at Tennessee State. I was working a summer job somewhere, and then I had an opportunity to become a summer intern there. And I started there, it was 97. And I was like, let me work here. And everything was taking off, technology. And Google, Yahoo, Bing had about 5 or 6 different search engines going on. And
everything was popping.
And so I go to this government office, and I'm thinking I'm about to see some great technology. And it just, it just wasn't that. We had green screen computers. They had one PC. And they told me, here, sit down and write these parking cards. And I'm like, what? And so, you look up the people, we got a part, do this. And so everything I did, I wanted to learn, because I received the citation when I was 16, and I was lost. Like, Mom, what am I doing? Calling here, they tell me I didn't have a citation, and once I got there, I understood the process, and so it's like, man, this needs to be made more transparent. So people, when you say court, it's a stigma to it. Everybody's like, court, and it's like fear, because you have no idea what's going on. And so I continued to work there 4 summers. And graduated 2001. And I was like, I'm in this business class. I'm gonna write this great cover letter and got my resume, and I'm gonna ask for this job offer. Because everybody graduating, like, what are you doing after college? Are you going straight to get your master's, or you need some work experience? And I was fortunate enough to be offered a full-time job based on the work that I put in previously. It's like, well, you're a great worker. Kind of like a shining star, let's get him here. And I had a 5-year plan. And you talk about looking at the big picture and little picture. It's a 5-year plan, and within that 5 years, life happens. But it's where I developed a passion for public service, because helping people on the front lines, and then end up getting married, and it's just like back to a choice. You chasing this as a young person, you're married, and you got to provide for your family, and it's like you chasing, well, what should I do next? Should I do here? Should I do this? Because it's opportunity cost. And so I decided to stay in that public sector with that passion that I developed to help people, and continued to sharpen my saw.
Okay.
Went back and I said, you know what? I'm going to get my master's. This is why
awesome.
I'm going to stay in this public sector.
Yeah.
And, just to have that dream to look at this organization and say, I'm at the bottom. And one day, why can't I run for this office? And I've been that young employee or employee with a great idea that never make it.
Yeah, to
the
top.
upper management.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a current position to where I know what that feels like, and I know I'm always open for feedback. Some of these ideas that you wouldn't hear me.
Yeah.
Now I have a seat at the table.
Yep.
At least you will listen, and let's implement this. So that journey has taken me here as a next step of public service, man. My 5-year plan has turned into 20 plus years.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. That's incredible. Yeah. Thank you for your service. Public service is definitely one of those things I respect, because I've worked as a defense contractor alongside a lot of people in the military and in the government, and I gained a different world and I gained a different perspective in that world in terms of what it means to be a public servant. So we talked about change, prior to this conversation. What do you want to change once you become what you're seeking to become in this elected office? Well,
I've been this is the thing, I've been striving for this change, and I've been that catalyst, as you would say, because first person of color to be training coordinator. Because I got a little movement, I'm pushing the envelope.
Gotcha.
First person of color to be business manager in this organization.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to continue, pushing. And this chief deputy role, I was fortunate enough and grateful for the opportunity. 2016, that opened up a whole new world for me. It's one of those things that you see.
Curtain.
Yeah, see behind the curtains. It's like, let's keep pushing, and then it's like, well, chief deputy, and it's like we're sitting at the table, and I'm like, let's talk about budgets. Let's talk about this stuff over here that
talk about the money.
Yes, as a stuff that you don't see and that you learn that. The perception on the front line, we're customer focused because we serve the public. That's what we do.
Sure.
But it's so many things that go on, that as a clerk in the 4 different offices, I started in one. And so it's like, well, I want to learn this office. I want to learn this office.
Yeah.
And to be given that opportunity to go and learn, and it's a lot, but you see the inner workings, as government, and you talk about running a private business and running the government. They say, well, we got a 5% budget cut. You need to cut 5 employees. You got 5 employees to cut.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at the paper like, so what? What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So you got to find creative solutions to the challenges of change, and just bringing those ideas and ways that we can better serve the public, and just to bring people that look like me to these roles. And it's one thing to be there, but when you can be instrumental and also telling my story to where I am currently and having a part in bringing other people, that look like me to up in management ranks, that's what you want to be. You want to be the example, and you're nothing without your team. We can talk about all the things that we've done, but you're nothing by yourself. So the changes that I want to do, I want to make, part of the thing has been some of the ideas over the last few years have been ideas that I brought to the table, but want to continue to make this office more diverse.
Gotcha.
And it should reflect the community that we serve.
Yeah. Nashville's changing, man.
Yes.
You're right, though. You make a great point. There's a lot of conversation around diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes.
But when you really look at organizations, they still don't reflect the communities that they serve. Private sector, public sector, nonprofit, there's still a challenge there. So you got your work cut out for you, but kudos to you for stepping out there. What advice would you give to any young person, specifically people of color, who want to do something like what you're doing, stepping out there, making history, pushing the envelope, but they're afraid of putting themselves out there, and they're afraid of what may come with that? What would you say to them?
I would say never let anyone discourage you. Like you said, you have to see somebody in that position. We kind of, when you don't see that image of that person, just kind of like the presidential race, you don't see that. Well, you can't worry about that role. Well, no, yes, we can. Continue to push the envelope. And I was given an opportunity to come in and be an intern, but I took that. As you give me an inch, I'm going to keep coming here, and never let no one tell you that you can't do anything.
Yeah. it also seems like it takes a lot of patience. Are you a patient person? Because you stayed in that organization and learned all of the different roles and paid your dues for a long period of time to be able to now campaign for the position that you're running for. Most folks would have probably been gone by now.
Yeah, and patience is a virtue. I can't say, my wife will tell you that I'm impatient. I always tell you we're like a society now. We're like we want everything at warp speed like a microwave.
Yeah, sure.
You think about that old pot pie. You look on the back, it tells you 60 minutes in the conventional oven or 8 minutes in the microwave. We're going for the microwave because we want it quick.
All day, man.
The crust ain't going to be crunchy like that, but we want it fast. And that's just how it is in life. But, as I said, my 5-year plan has turned into 20 plus years, and you just blink. Yeah. And I was the youngest employee there.
Wow.
And now when I'm interviewing people for jobs and, people tell me, hey, go out here and we need an accounting major.
Yeah.
I was like, well, let's go to TSU. I was at the College of Business.
Yeah.
Let me reach out to a connect here and see if I can get some people there. And so that perseverance and patience, and I mean, it's rare. Mm-hmm. And I tell people, this is my first time running for office.
Yeah.
I've been behind the scenes as a public servant, So that patience and dedication, I tell people, I didn't. Bishop said something at church about a month ago, I guess. Time just flying with me, but he was like, I didn't take the elevator.
Yeah,
I didn't take the elevator. I didn't jump up and I took the stairs. We walking the stairs. I mean, this journey I did. It wasn't easy.
Yeah,
it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Been discouraged. I've had job offers.
Mm-hmm.
I've went and said, hey, talk to my wife. Let's make a family choice. I put in 10 years.
Yeah.
Make a choice. As I told you, life's about choices. Do I leave this?
Yeah.
Do I go here? My passion is here. I want to run for this. And it's just like, you go, you get the certifications, you get the degrees, you put them in your back pocket.
Yeah.
You don't need them right now.
Yeah.
But when you need them, you need this. Kind of like, you talking about this right here?
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
But what else can I do to better prepare myself?
Yeah.
So, a prepared person is ready for that opportunity. So when it presents itself, that opportunity is there for you. So I've just been grinding, preparing myself for that next. And it's taking patience. And 20 plus years, and I'm getting a little gray now.
Yeah.
But
it's cash in, man.
Yeah,
you're about to cash in on that patience, man.
Yeah.
One thing I want to touch on, when you and your wife walked in, that image of both of you showing up in this moment was powerful for me. And then you both spoke about being married for 20 years and having met in college. And that really...
Well, actually, met before college.
Met before college.
High school prom, yes.
So high school, married
right
20 years, known each
other,
for a very long time. When I think about this idea of Black Boy Fly, and I talk about my journey, and I talk to other brothers, this idea of marriage always comes up. Some brothers have figured it out. Some of us are still figuring it out. Mm-hmm. I'm on marriage number 2, blessed, and everything is going well. But man, 20 years... 20 years. How do you get to 20 years, and how do you and your wife, how do y'all function and coexist as a team?
Hey, communication. I always tell people, when you marry someone, as people, mm-hmm. we don't like change, but change is constant. What we like change is, so when you marry someone, you marry to make that person happy. Yeah. Because if I see this person, that I saw her when I was 16, 17 years old, that person has changed.
That's true.
You love the person from the inside, and you see the outside too, but what I like changes. So if I see something and something else catches my eye, or whatever the case may be, what I like change. So, but if my goal is to always please her, and her goal is to always please me, we can make this union work. Not to say it's been easy. Yeah. As you know, being married yourself, there, but just to be that example and to be the example for a family. My parents were married and, separated and my dad died, but just to have that image of a family. Yeah, for sure. For sure. A unit to where, that's what I always wanted to be there, for my kids. Yeah. And just to have that image of a family, your mom and father, and, just to be there. Because as a child, I would go over my grandmother's house on this side of the family, totally different. Mm-hmm. And then you come over here to this side, it just kind of, it shapes you, as you said. But all those experiences make me who I am today. Yeah. But I strive to make this union and work. But 20 years, I mean, it's something to behold.
Man. I love it.
And we got married at 20. I was 23.
Wow.
And she was
cashed in early, man. Yeah. You said, I got me one, I'm out.
I mean, and you go back to people at TSU, they should see us together. But see, what I've learned is that's my best friend. Yeah. She's my best friend first. Yeah. Just to have this conversation, with her. And I was like, man, this is the coolest girl, and this is like, and it just kind of sparked. Yeah. Friendship. We were kind of like, you said you're not from Nashville. So, but in high school, we had like these high school fraternities and sororities. Mm-hmm. And when I first met her, we were in Whites Creek, and we started one over in McGavick. And she was, on that, she became the president. Okay. And so I was the president of the fraternity. She was the president of sorority. So we would talk and collaborate. And we just, I saw her. She caught my attention. Yeah. But when we talked, it's just like, man, this, we're talking, sports. We're talking, rap or music or whatever that is. And it was just so natural. Yeah. And it just developed into that. And,
That's awesome, man. Yeah. 2 beautiful children, teenage sons. So tell me about Joseph, the father, and how have you evolved as a man from prior to having children to now having teenage children?
Oh man, it's been a journey as young father, and as I said, I lost my dad as a young age, so I wanted to be there for my kids, to be that and pray for that, just bless me. Yeah. I would bring them up in the admonition of the Lord in the church, and just that, and we went through issues trying to get pregnant and things like that, and then just a long story, but my mom ended up, while we were pregnant, my mom had cancer, and she died 3 months before my son was born. Oh, man. So, I mean, it's been a lot, but just as a young father, to go through that, man, I've learned a lot. People can't tell you about, raising kids. You have to, experience it and go through it. And, just as a provider and to kind of mold them, you know, and support them. I always tell people and tell them, because you want better for your kids than what you had. Mm-hmm. But we got to a point to where we're not just arrived by no means, but better off than I had it as a child. So you want to provide that, but at the same time, we kind of spoil them a little bit. And so, but I wanted to try to teach them, no, this is this is that. You know, you may be here. Yeah, you have both of your parents, but there's nothing wrong with that. Sure. But understand where I come from, where you come from. And like I tell them, I need you to take the torch. Yeah. I always tell them an analogy. Look at this staircase. It's been hard for me. I've made it up to step number 6. I need you to not be comfortable and go down to step 4 and just chill. I need you to take this to baton. 6, you can get to 10 and keep pushing. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, for me to graduate college, and I need you to do something, to continue. Now, college might not be for everyone, but you're going to do something, be a productive citizen. Sure. And so I just try to instill that in them, and just to continue to teach them that they are important, and that never let anyone discourage you. Yep. And you want to keep pushing on that. So as a father, man, it's been a journey. And I tell people, when I see young parents and couples and, married couples, and, once I had a child, it's like, well, what you doing today? Going to pick up my child. When you get off, what are you doing? Hey, can you come out here? We're going to shoot some ball. Let me talk to the wife. And that's why I tell you too, that communication is key. You got to have an understanding and a relationship. I mean, it's a partnership, It's that unit as a family. And when I see someone and say they've raised kids, and you understand it, it's like one of those things. I can tell you about it all day, but once you go through it and experience it, you have a better appreciation for it.
I can appreciate something you were talking about earlier when you said you asked to speak first at campaign events so that you can be there for your children's activities. Your family first. Yes. I remember having a conversation with my mom a few weeks ago, and she said, well, you're a family man, so I know you wouldn't do that. And I thought to myself, like, I am a family man, but why does that seem like such a unicorn status in our community? And when I talk with my peer group, I often put that first. I can't be there because the kids are doing this. Mm-hmm. Not even something I need to be at, but I feel like I need to be there, mm-hmm. And that's just important to me. But something else I wanted to touch on really quick, you talked quite a bit without maybe even knowing it about adversity. So you lost your father at 10, your mother died of cancer 3 months before your child was born. you lost your scholarship in college, and I'm sure you know, the fertility issues you just talked about and other things that you battle, yet you still seem to have a really calm demeanor and optimistic outlook. How is that possible, given the things that you've been through?
You know, those things, I think, shape you, who you are, you know, and God works in mysterious ways and, you know, takes you through things. And I think those things go to mold who we are. And we can't let it, you know, shake us and beat us down and be, you know, kind of down all the time.
Yeah.
This one thing is like anger, worry, and resentment look back. Worry looks around. You're not going nowhere. You see what I'm saying? You're worried about it. You're stewing about it. But faith, hope, and optimism look to the future.
Faith, hope, optimism.
Yeah. So you just can't let one little thing trip you up. You use it as a stepping stone, you know. And even my journey to where I am now,
Yeah.
you know, the answer is not no.
Yeah.
It's just not right now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
timing is everything. And, you know, that diversity, I don't even think about it. When you tell me about it, I look back and say, well, you're all right. You know, to think about, you know, we don't look like what we've been through. And I tell people that all the time. And then that just goes back, that things that I've been through, and to see people struggling.
Yeah.
I had a conversation yesterday with somebody on the trail. They said, are you Joseph? You know, because I had my stuff on. I was like, yeah. And I told her I'm running for circuit court clerk, and she went on to about a story of things that she's going through. And someone is always in worse shape than you are. And she got to talking about it, and I had compassion for her. And as a clerk, I can't give you legal advice, but she was talking to me about, you know, sleeping on the floor, and she's kicked out of her place, and she has a judgment and no place to live. She's working, but not enough to meet the bills. And she understood that I couldn't do nothing about it. And I was like, well, what about you talk to this person? But at the end of the day, you know what she told me? Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Some people just want you to listen. And I listen to
a
story.
Her as a human.
Yes. And I've learned that as a public servant in this office, and, you know, things that I've gone through and seeing people struggling. Yeah. It's like, man, you know, how can you want me to do this, but I can't do that, you know, or I hear these stories all the time and I don't cut you off. I let you get it out.
Yeah.
Because you can say 3 words to me and I say, oh, let me tell you about this. This, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, man, I couldn't get that out.
Yeah.
And when somebody listens, and, you know, and I've seen that example in the community and just in this office, that someone will wait an extra 5 minutes to come to this person's window.
Wow.
Because they want that service.
Wow.
You know, you may come in with a bad dispositions because you come into our office and you're already upset about a ticket, you're going through a divorce, somebody's suing you, and you're dealing with family issues, but you come in with a disposition that's better when you leave than when you came.
So is it safe to say you're going to bring compassion to the court?
Yes, compassion. We deal with matters of the heart. And, you know, we keep those records sacred. You know, as the clerk, we're the keeper of the record, working with 19 judges. But these things, we guard these records, whether it's adoption records, whether it's, you know, orders of protection, mental health. Yeah. You know, those things are filed with the court, and those things are records that need to be kept, you know, and protected.
Love it.
You know,
love it.
So,
man, this is a lot of great insight. You've been preaching, and I'm really appreciative of just everything that you share, specifically the vulnerability, because you were so open to just talk about the things that you struggle with, and I find that we don't do that enough. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you could share one last thought for any young brothers, middle-aged, older brothers out there that they want to fly in their life, they want to get to that next level, but they're struggling, they don't have the confidence, they don't feel as though they can do it, what would you say to encourage that brother?
I would tell them to, you know, which they're trying to be, like, it's various, because you want to, my thing is I want to be the change, mm-hmm. so people can see me. Sure. And I'll tell you this little story, and I've said it before. Me running for this office, putting myself out there, as I said, I've been behind the scenes. I've seen people that have seen me over the years that have seen me. It's like, hey, you the guy that worked in traffic. You helped me get my, you helped me get my license back, or you did this, and they would see my name Day, and I know that was me.
That was you.
And then I would see them and say, hey, I'm running for. He's like, this is you. And so then it's like, well, you know, my face out there, they know my face, but I know my name.
Gotcha.
And so, but now putting my face out there with my name But just to answer your question, to come back around to these young people, I went through a drive-through the other day. This happened twice to me. I pulled up and somebody looked at me and says, "You're the mayor guy." And it took me aback, and I was like, well, no, I'm not the mayor guy, but I am running for office, and I told her, ask for your vote. I don't know if she was 16 or 17, but just for them to see somebody running for this office, in that field. So my thing is, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. Yeah. As I told you before, never let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. Yeah. Always strive, and just like you were talking about mentoring, giving back to the community. When they see that, when they see somebody looks like them, and just to see that family image, you don't tell how many times that I've seen that somebody came and says, me and my wife could be eating at the Mexican restaurant. They come up, my family's there, and it's like, y'all just made my day. Just to see the family, just the visual, and it just seems like a genuine, energy and interest, and just to be there. But my thing is, I was given this opportunity to have a shot. So that's my thing is to develop these programs and summer internships to get you here. Come learn about this courthouse. Come learn about what we do here. It's public record what we do. That stigma of court, don't be discouraged from that. You see me. If like you telling me the things that I've been through, diverse, I don't think about it like that. I think those things that shape and mold us who we are. And so don't let anything that you're going through define you. Sure. Don't let that one instance define you. But as a people and as society, that's what we do. Because somebody could see me from 20 years ago and they're going to say, man, I remember him such and such. But you don't see all of this good and all these other things, but they remember that one negative. And we as people, we hold that. We hold grudges on people. Whether it's, I remember he did this back when I was at TSU to me. You know what I'm saying? We change and develop and, as a whole, and just come to this new person, but as to be that light to somebody else. To be the change and to lead by example is what I'm hearing. And, I'm impressed by your journey, and thank you for coming on the podcast to talk about your experience. Thank you all for tuning in. And this is a great man that has an awesome story. You heard it here first on the Black Boy Fly podcast. We're going to wrap this conversation up, but stay tuned for more great content. You can follow us on YouTube, all the favorite podcast channels. Tell people about the Black Boy Fly podcast. We're trying to change lives, empower our community, and brothers like Joseph P.D. and his story are great examples of that. So stay tuned for the next episode. Take care.